Y'all gotta forgive me. I be having an alarm set. That alarm and cut my video off. It say, I know, I'm just scared. I already have trust issues and I don't want to risk them getting worse. Listen, sister, don't ever in your life send a text message like that. Don't ever in your life send a weak text message like that. Don't ever in your life again tell a man that you like him, then he ain't told you he like you. Don't ever in your life verbalize your insecurities to a man. Never in your life, ever again. Ever again. I know that you probably don't feel the same way. Never in your life use that reverse psychology. Seeking approval, seeking attention. You always got to show a strong front. You always got to show up strong. You cannot let a man see you sweat. You cannot let a man see you weak. You cannot let a man see you vulnerable. He will devour you. He will not respect you. Men respect strength. Men respect strength. I'm telling you. Then he wrote, I can understand that. And said your name. I can understand that. But you can't live to the fullest like that. I'm not saying being open with people, but not allowing anyone to get to you. Wanting people to get you is only damage you in the end. He's way deep too. Text sound terrible, boy. I completely understand what you're saying. That's from her. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I definitely do F with you. He put FW. F with you, and you're really cool. He put the HELLA on cuss. That's still a cuss word. You really cool, for real. And I do care about you, TBH, to be honest. And the issues you deal with, I want you to fix. And I'm here for you to talk to anytime. FR, for real. If you need any help or anything. Sound a mess. That text message is absolute terrible. So now you taking and you turning this man into your therapist. You turning this kid into your therapist. And he talking about, hey, don't live scared. You got to be open and all of that. I ain't saying let people get to you, but wanting people to get you is only damage you in the end. So now this man giving you advice. Now you put him on a pedestal. He the therapist, he the advice giver. He don't know what he doing. He out there in the service, up the road, he in the Air Force, a few states away, and all on Snapchat meeting women. I guarantee you, he probably lost. He probably lost himself, and then you come, and then this the thing, ladies, you cannot come to no man telling this man about how you been hurt and you scared and you don't want to get hurt again. That's not finna get you no sympathy with no man. It's gonna sound like reverse psychology, manipulation, and it's like, what kind of position does that put you in to come in? Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. No, you got to come in knowing who you are. You got to come in. This is me. This is what I'm bringing to the table, in the sense of you ain't saying that's what you bring to the table, but you coming in and you having normal conversations. You having normal conversations. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing this and that. But you never tell a man that you like him. See, you don't like him. You like the way he look. You don't even know the man good enough to like him. You like the way he look, and you want him to approve you because you a brown-skinned woman and he a light-skinned man, tall, light-skinned man with good hair, as so they call it, because of all the colorism and the racial lines. So because he has features and things that you wish you had, him choosing you will give you approval. And you got to stop feeling like that. Because I'm going to tell you, sister, as a black woman, you're a beautiful woman in the sense of you have to know your beauty. You got to know that all your features, all your looks is beautiful in the sight of the man that is for you. You don't need a man's approval. You don't need a man to choose you by begging him. A man who is for you and he like you, this kind of guy though, no, y'all not looks compatible. Y'all could be looks compatible if he was less arrogant. I could tell by his pictures that he think he all that just by the poses he making and the faces he making. And it's not like a picture he let somebody else take of him to post on social media. He taking selfies thinking he look good. So he's going to want what society is promoting. And society right now is promoting light-skinned women, meaning light-skinned black women, biracial women, Hispanic women, and it's being promoted because of the media, because of the music videos, because of a lot of the Instagram models, and really black men who hate themselves are the reason light-skinned women are being promoted. And I remember when this started to happen, I mean, of course, it's always been around, but it get stronger and stronger and stronger. I had some conversations with my wife. I said, baby, I feel bad because me and you been together when there really wasn't a thing at that time. It really wasn't a fad like it is because we didn't have social media. When me and my wife met, we didn't have social media. It was before Instagram, before Snapchat, before Twitter. You know, it was before, we just had barely had Facebook. And so it wasn't, the messages weren't as much as they are today. And I started to feel bad, like, man, I got a light-skinned woman. People gonna think that I chose her just because of her color. When really I seen her and just wanted a one-night stand, but then her personality and who she is showed me she a wife. But if I was going off my preferences, my wife was not my preference. But she quickly became my standard. She met standards, but I was operating from family pressure and from hurt, from being hurt by a woman of a lighter hue, which was a white woman. And then in high school, I had a light-skinned black girlfriend. She cheated on me. The other one kind of light-skinned black woman kind of sunned me a little bit. And so I was operating from hurt too. And I'm like, man, I want a woman that's my color, that's going to appreciate me. And so when I met my wife, that wouldn't have been a preference. It was a standard because of her character, her morals, her values. Now, my wife, she liked brown-skinned men. She liked dark-skinned men, whatever y'all call it, because every guy she had ever talked to was my color. And so even from high school, when she couldn't have a boyfriend, just the guy that you kind of, passing letters with. And then her ex before me was like my color or a shade darker. My wife had never dated, never flirted, never did anything with a white guy. And even to this day, she still always talk about how she just never been attracted to white men. And so for whatever reason, could have just been wanting to pursue her blackness. Her mom is black, her dad is Indian, Jamaican. Whatever the reason, we have to, the reason why I'm talking about this so much is each of us got to stop. We have to stop projecting and we got to start inspecting. We have to have a inner view, not an interview, a inner, INNER. We got to have an inner view of ourselves, and we got to get to the root of our pain. We got to get to the root of our self-hate. We got to get to the root of our prejudice. We got to get to the root of our preferences. And we have to see, why am I this way? What did I originally believe? And why do I believe what I believe? Why do I feel what I feel? And we got to get to that root. And when you do that, then you see where you're operating from. So here's the thing. This goes both ways, because just how this light-skinned young man is talking to this darker skinned, meaning darker than him, young lady, light-skinned black boys are clowned and mistreated by darker skinned black boys growing up. light-skinned black boys are also clowned and mistreated by white boys. So a lot of times light-skinned black men want a darker skinned woman because of the pain that they suffered at the hands of being light skinned. And then it's vice versa. But when you look at this again, what is the root? Self hate. We are made to hate ourselves. Majority of self talk is negative. So we are made to hate ourselves, and that is why a lot of people seek the opposite of themselves instead of a reflection of themselves, instead of who they are. And now some people love themselves, but self-love is not as common as self-hate. And so this is a reason why he could be into women that's darker than him. But when you come in as a woman who is darker than him, you could actually be his preference. But when you put him on a pedestal by wearing your heart on your sleeve and by using him as your therapist and by begging him not to hurt you and by telling him you like him, then it makes him look down on you and it makes you look weak instead of strong like your melanin represents. That melanin in you represents strength. It represents overcoming. It represents perseverance. Because black women have been treated the worst of all women, of all humans, since the beginning of time. Because you have men, society puts men over women. But then it's broken down by race. So it will be, so if it's white men, then it's white women. And then if it's Asian men, then it's Asian women. And then if it's Hispanic men, then it's Hispanic women. And then it's black men, and then it's black women. Black women have been sat on, have been spat on, have been mistreated from the beginning of time and treated worse than any other group of women. Because the darker you are, the lesser you are seen, because the more you are feared. People fear what they don't understand. People fear what they envy. And that's why at the fitness competitions, they paint everybody black. Because they say there is strength in this color. There are pros to this color. Do you know why? A lot of times people don't think about this. Do you know why when you see the really dark, like when you see the darkest black people become multi-millionaire models, like almost like this color, almost like a little lighter than this, or like a different shade of this? Do you notice why the black models who are high fashion models are this color instead of this color? The reason why they take this color is because they say this is a canvas. That this color, any color we put on top of that is going to pop. And that color is not going to, it's going to be such a contrast with the bright orange and yellow and red and pink and purple and whatever that they put on the model. So they want, so if you notice, they typically use really pale white and really dark black in high fashion modeling. If you notice that. There are exceptions because they need a bunch of people and it's just not a whole lot of really pale and really dark. So they got to get others in there, but it's a science to that. It's a science to that. And also, typically the darker black people come from certain parts of Africa, and they come to America, and they're in America, or they're in Australia, or they're in Canada, or they're in the UK, and they come from certain parts of Africa, And there's not a contention with them as there is a contention with Black Americans. So white high fashion feel a certain way and a certain guilt and contention with Black Americans, so they use Black African in their brands because they feel like it's a complete different race. They don't put Black African in the same boat with Black American. And they also see that division between Black African and Black American, because a lot of Black Africans look down on and don't agree with and don't relate to Black Americans, because a lot of Black Africans say Black Americans are lazy and dumb and ignorant and no work ethic. And so essentially, a lot of Black Africans will say the same thing about Black Americans that white Americans say. But neither of the two are taking into consideration the hundreds of years of trauma of Black Americans who were once Black Africans, but brought to America to be slaves and then started being called Black Americans, but were actually Black Africans. And so when a Black African is in Africa and their lineage is not enslaved and not being beaten and broken, and they leave Africa and come to America, they come without the trauma of slavery at the hands of white men. They may come from some lineage who come to America may come from slavery in that country, but they escaped that slavery or were freed from that slavery, and then you come over here and it's a fresh start. Whereas with Black Americans, it's not a fresh start. You in the country and you working with and dealing with the people who enslaved you. But when you come from an island, even if your ancestors were enslaved in that island, when you come from an island or you come from another continent or from another country and you come into America, you coming as a reset. America is your land of dreams. It's your refuge. For Black Americans, America is your land of nightmares. It's your land of captivity. And that's the conversation that a lot of people don't want to have. A lot of people don't want to think about that. But it puts us at odds and it makes us hate each other and it divides us amongst each other, which then gives those in power more power, because even those of the same skin color, because they come from different countries, don't get along and don't respect each other and don't build and bond with each other. But if they could build and bond with each other the way white people from Ireland or white people from Europe or white people from Israel or white people from wherever come to America and build and bond and work with white people who have been in America for centuries. But yet other races sometimes will be against each other if they come from different countries. And then when you break that down and it goes deeper, not only are we against each other because we're from and despising each other because we're from different countries, we also break it all the way down to despising each other because we're from different states. And then because we're from different cities. And then because we're from different neighborhoods. And then we're from different streets. So you got the rolling 60s, and then you got the 80s or the 23rds. And then you got, I'm from 63rd, I'm from 64th. Let's kill each other. You see what I'm saying? So it's so much trauma, it's so much division that even in black on black relationships, there's a debasing and demeaning of one and a promoting and uplifting and praising of another, even though both of y'all are black. because one light skinned, one is darker skinned, there's this hierarchy. And so this colorism and this and this colorism, but colorism comes from self-hate. The root is self-hate. And the self-hate comes from the fear of another race, fearing your race, make you hate yourself, and then divide you amongst each other, and then you hate each other, and then this leaks into our relationships. So then you got all this pain, you got all this trauma, you got all this going on, and then now you have this exodus. You have this exodus of a race. So you have black women leaving the black men and going to the white men, and black men leaving the black woman and going to the white. And it's really because of the pain and trauma that the two have together, because of where it comes from. But instead of black men saying, listen, I'm hurting and I'm dealing with this and I feel this way, let me work on myself, let me heal, let me grow, let me forgive, let me love, let me understand. Black men take our pain out on black women. And then some black women get fed up and say, I'm leaving this race. I'm having an exodus and I'm leaving this race and I'm going to date outside my race because you don't know how to appreciate me. And you can't blame them. Can't blame them. It's like if somebody can't recognize their trauma as an adult and work on their trauma and heal, you can't blame somebody for not wanting to be a punching bag because of somebody else's trauma. And so as black men, if we want to be in our household and we want to lead in love, meaning exemplify love, we got to heal. We have to get to the root of our pain, and we got to get that coaching, get that therapy, get that consolation, get to the solution. And so all this right here at 18 years old, this all just a trickle down. It's just a trickle down effect all the way down to 18 years old. Colorism and self-hate is affecting this young lady. And she not loving herself. She putting herself out there. She telling a man she like him and she's scared to be hurt. And I'm seeing this over and over and over. I'm seeing that somebody else sent this in. I saw it briefly. I read a lady say she told a man that she's scared to get hurt. And then the man called her and said, I don't care about that crybaby S. I read it. If you watching this, I read it. I ain't get to finish reading it, but I was like, wow, that's wow. Because it offends the man when you come to a man and telling him you scared for him to hurt you. And the reason why it offends the man is because now the onus is on him. Now you put the ball in his court, and he get offended because he getting ready to hurt. He was getting ready to hurt you. He getting ready to hurt you, and you got ahead of him. So I know that's the tactic that y'all ladies be doing, is you trying to disarm the man. You trying to say, I know you getting ready to hurt me, so let me tell you I'm afraid to get hurt, with the hopes that that's going to make you feel sorry for me and say, well, oh, I'm not going to hurt you because you. Now, a man who love you, a man who into you, a man who want to be with you, he going to be like, I don't know why you feel like that. Like, you shouldn't feel like that because I'm really, really into you. But then at the same time, he lose a little respect for you because now you've just shown weakness. And weakness is not a attractive trait. Now, fake strength is not an attractive trait either. Being honest is different than being weak. But you have to find a happy medium. You gotta find that common ground where you can talk through things, and you can, instead of saying, I'm afraid to be hurt, I like you and I'm afraid you're gonna hurt me, you could get to the root of where he's coming from just by having a conversation and saying, let that conversation get deep. So what are your goals? And so where are you from? okay, what was life like for you coming up? What was your upbringing like? Single parent, two parent, or you just what was your upbringing like? And then they're gonna answer that. Single parent, two parent, where they from, what they seen, what they did. Oh wow, how was that? Like what were you into as a kid? Well, I was kind of quiet and shy. I always got picked on. That let you know something. Well, I always was rambunctious. I was always class clown. I always had a lot of fun. I was a star athlete. That let you know something. So now, as this conversation is deepening, you learning and you hearing where this person is coming from. Now you can see his trauma, or you can see his pain, or you can see his self-love, or you can see his strong foundation, or you can see his weak foundation. And then that lets you know whether he is more prone to love and respect you, or more prone to lead you on and hurt you. And you never had to say, I like you and I'm afraid that you're going to hurt me. You never had to say that. You were able to just have a conversation and find out who he is and where he's operating from. And then that allows you to be able to make an assessment and decide if you want to stay in this or not. So that's what you got to realize. You cannot keep putting yourself on the chopping block. You got to go in with confidence. You have to go in with strength. You got to go in with patience. And you need to focus more on you. You need to get a goal. You need to get into a career or a trade, and you need to focus on your health. You need to focus on your wealth, your health meaning your mental health. You need to change what you're saying to yourself. Stop calling yourself unattractive. Stop labeling yourself dark-skinned because you're human. And so stop buying into the colorism that the world has put out there. Like, stop making yourself feel less than. And if you say, hey, I'm dark skinned, it's like, don't associate that with something negative in your mind. Because my son, who is lighter skinned, my oldest son, came home one day, I think it was last year, and he said, Dad, I seen the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. He said, for once in my life, I was able to look at a woman and say, wow, she is beautiful. And I said, well, tell me about the woman. He was like, well, she was dark skinned, and she was kind of built like an athlete, like she played basketball or she ran track, and she had on like a college shirt. She was like, but then I looked at her dude and I was just so mad. He was like, how did he get her? Oh, he was like, I hate that when I see a really beautiful woman and then I see that they have a boyfriend or whatever, a husband. He was like, I think they had a child together and that's why they were there. He was at like Disney with his friend or Epcot with his friend. And it said something to me how, although my son is light skinned, although he go to a predominantly white school, he got like 5 girls of color in his grade out of the 70 students. He's seen a darker skinned woman and felt she was so beautiful that he would come home and tell me about it at 13 years old. And I was just excited because a lot of times being at a predominantly white school, black men end up liking white women and black women end up liking white men if they went to a PWI, predominantly white institution. So to see that he still had an appreciation for all colors, all races, it said something to me. But that's how we raise them too. And I could be causing some of that, discrimination of certain races. And as parents, we have to be careful with that. But we got to make sure our kid is not operating from self-hate. But me, I try to establish to my oldest son of like, appreciate your race, appreciate your melanin, like appreciate your color, and don't despise your cut. Don't despise the melanin in your skin. Like don't feel less than. Like don't feel you got to go get a woman who lighter than you because the world said or made you feel less than. Like appreciate that, and love that. And also understand that you, Tony Gaskin the third, and that the woman that you choose to be with, that's going to determine y'all kids. And you have the power to dictate the melanin or the look of the Gaskin's name. And so you have to do that from the right place. So if you meet this woman and you love her and she happened to be white, and it's love, you're not choosing her because you think white is right. You're not choosing her because you think white is better than black. You're not choosing her, meaning you had a project with her, y'all was in class, y'all started talking, y'all hit it off, and she choosing you for the right thing. She not choosing you because you the star soccer player at the school and it's articles about you going pro. She ain't choosing you like, so real conversations. And not to say, hey, go choose this right here color because you that color, or because I'm that color, because that color may not appreciate you. That person, that woman, not that color, that woman might not appreciate you. Yeah, she may have the color that you want to reproduce with, but if this particular woman don't love you, don't appreciate you, she look down on you, then again, you choosing for the wrong reason. You choosing for self-hate. And that's what I'm seeing happening right here with this young lady. And could be with this young man, but he didn't write in, so I don't know his perspective and his mindset. But the way that you went in, sister, is now you done debase yourself and you put him in a power position to have control over your vulnerabilities. You put him in a position to play on your vulnerabilities. And that is why I believe in the past, men have made you feel bad. You say, I've started because of that. You said, when that happens, it makes me wonder if there's something wrong with me. When a man leave you for a light-skinned woman, or he tell you he's not ready for a relationship, and then you see him with a woman. I've been in situationships. See, you've been in situationships. Another thing, take sex off the table. Stop sleeping with men. Stop having sex. Men and women, either one, whichever what you got going on. Stop giving your body away. Do not give your body away again till you know you absolutely, till you married. And if you can't make it till marriage, then it need to be you all the way in love, and y'all all the way an item, y'all all the way a thing, y'all all the way legitimate. If you can't wait till marriage. I've been in situationships with guys who would put me down because of my skin color, because they find lighter skinned women more attractive, and they would drop me for a light skinned woman. Because of that, I started to have issues with my looks and started feeling a bit insecure. I've been trying to work on it, but it still hurts. The same way like how all my other situationships have. No, it still hurts me. I'm currently talking to a guy right now, and I've told him how I felt, and he told me he messes with me, but I'm scared it's going to end the same way like all my other situationships have. And that's another thing. You saying situationships, not relationships. So you getting your heart in this and you begging and you desperate for a man. I'm mad, about whatever happened with your dad or whatever happened with your mama. Like, I'm mad that you feeling this way at 18 years old. Like, you should feel secure. You should feel confident. You should be focused on you. Focus on your college education or starting your business or whatever you getting into. The last thing on your mind should be men. That should be the last thing on your mind. Like, you got to stop focusing on boys. You looking for somebody to rescue you. You looking for somebody to come and be by your side. You don't need nobody by your side. God by your side. Your mama or your daddy or whoever by your side. Like, get somebody else by your side. These men don't know you. These men don't know you, and they not looking for nobody by their side because you too young. So if all you gonna do is keep getting hurt, you tired of the cycle and you don't want to be in the cycle, so that's all gonna happen at your age. Because you're not dealing with men, you're dealing with boys. And then if you go deal with a man, the man gonna see you as a child. So you still gonna pull out the grown boy in him because he gonna try to re-raise you. He gonna try to control you. You need to listen. Women need to focus on you and your education and your business and your job until you are old enough to feel like a grown, strong woman. Until you feel like a grown, strong woman, you need not date. Until you are secure and confident and you don't have to lead in your feelings, telling the man you like him or you into him. The man ought to tell you he like you. And you say, thank you for sharing that. And then he need to ask you, do you like me? Don't even offer that information. Make him ask you, how do you feel about me? And then you don't roll out no red carpet. You then say, I'm still getting to know you. But from what I've seen, so far, so good. You don't roll out a red carpet for a man. Men will devour you. A man will destroy you if you roll out the red carpet and you wear your heart on your sleeve and you show too much vulnerability before y'all even in a relationship. A man will take advantage of that. And it's almost, when it comes to being vulnerable, with 99% of men, it's almost no time that a woman is safe. And I hate to say that. You gotta take your insecurities to God in prayer. You gotta take your vulnerabilities to God in prayer or to therapy. A man is not equipped to handle the vulnerabilities of a woman. And most men are going to play on the vulnerabilities. He's gonna misuse and mistreat. So you gotta protect yourself until you know that your man is an exception to the rule. That's the sad truth. Now, every man could be capable of becoming an exception to the rule, but that takes time for you to realize and find that out. And it's typically gonna be shown when a man is vulnerable with you. When a man shows you vulnerability, and it's a real, genuine vulnerability. He's not asking for money. He's not asking for sympathy. He's just sharing with you what's on his heart. That's when you'll start to see and be able to tell if this man is somebody you can trust in your vulnerability. But until you get to that place, you got to guard your heart. You got to protect yourself. Otherwise, you setting yourself up to get hurt. You setting yourself up to get used. Like you said, all these guys, they want you for one thing, and that's what's between your legs. And honestly, it's women who don't have the tattoos and the piercings and all that, and they could be absolutely nasty. They could sleep with 100 men, but look like a doctor or a lawyer. And then there's women who have your look and are virgins. And so it's not a one size fits all. It's not the only thing. But people are judgmental. So when you have a tattoo on your forearm as a lady, and that look like it's a tattoo, but it also looks so light that it look like it could be marker or henna that done faded. So hopefully it's marker or henna that done faded. But if that is an actual tattoo, that's a really bold place to get a tattoo because it almost can't be hidden, in a lot of outfits unless you're wearing blazers or long sleeve. And then to get that earring, that bar through there, and then to have a nose ring, you may have a belly ring too if you got a nose ring, and then to wear them hoop earrings, what it said, and then to have long, long lashes, what it says to a man is this woman is adventurous. This woman breaks rules. This woman rebels against the norm. This woman does her own thing. This woman don't listen to instruction because parents will tell you not to do all this as young as you is. So this woman do her own thing. So what it tells a man is that it's sending a message that you will be easy to sleep with. It sends a message that you will be a freak in the bedroom because of all the chances you're taking in your appearance. But the more conservative you look, which looks can be deceiving, but what I'm saying is a man will look like, oh, she follows the rules, or oh, she more along the straight and narrow, or oh, she looks kind of prudish, or oh, she looks kind of standoffish, she looks kind of girl next door, she looks like a daddy's girl. And so it makes him move a little slower, and it makes him tread a little lighter, because your look isn't going against so many societal norms, or taking so many chances, or putting yourself so far into a subculture's look. And so now again, this is perception, and perception is that person's reality. Now, a person can get to know you and you can prove their perception to be wrong. But if you prove their perception to be right, then they have even less respect for you if what you prove them right on is a negative. If it looks like you'll sleep with a man within the first 3 weeks, and then you sleep with him within the first 3 weeks, now you prove him right, and he said, these women are all the same. They all like this. He put you in a box. He don't want you. He move on. If you look like you'll sleep with a man within the first 3 weeks, which is what your look says, and then he can't sleep with you, he like, oh, wow, she's an anomaly. She's an exception to the rule. I respect her. I got a little more respect for her. This interesting. The same goes for the reverse. If a man comes and you look conservative, and you look like, prudish, and you look like daddy's little girl, he assumes that he will have to work and talk to you every single day for an hour a day for at least 3 months. That's 90 hours of talking before you'll do anything sexual with him. If he hangs out with you, and in the first week or the first month, you sleep with him, but you looked professional, business professional, and more conservative, and you sleep with him, now he loses respect for you. And he says, oh, she was playing a role. She was trying to look like a good girl who don't take chances, but really she's an absolute freak. So this how she seducing men. This how she tricking men. She going out looking like goody two shoes, but actually she really getting it in. So now he start to look at every woman who look like you like that. And I found that to be true too. It was a lot of times women who dress like her would come to me for coaching, and they be a virgin with a bodycon dress on. Like even my niece, I honestly believe, and her mama say, and she say she a virgin, but she wear midriff shirts with all her stomach out. And she not into guys like that. Like she don't have a boyfriend. She not asking to go on dates. She not asking to leave out the house. Like you could tell when somebody doing all that. She into her arts. She go to art school. She dual now, high school and college. She working now. And so she occupied. Her time is occupied. She don't drive, so she can't go nowhere with no guy. She can't leave and go pick up a guy. And if a guy gonna pick her up, her mama gonna know about it, because got to get her mama permission. And her mama was a hot mess. So not in a derogatory way, but her mama had her at 16. So her mama know the game. She can't get nothing over on her mama. So, but my niece will wear midriff shirts with her stomach out, with a belly ring, with a nose ring. So I said it to say that the perception could be wrong in a lot of cases. But so when a man, he's gonna test his perception. So a man might come and try a woman who got all these piercings because he thinks she adventurous and she like to have fun and she like to rebel against societal norms. And so he thinks she gonna be easy, and then she could prove him, no, this ain't that. I'm into these piercings and I'm into all of this because I like art. because I feel like my body is a canvas and I'm a beautiful piece of art. I'm a beautiful artwork, or I just like the piercings because of what it represent in history, or what it represent in the tribal times, or what have you. And he like, oh wow, okay. And then now if a woman look like she's reserved, if she look conservative, if she looks like daddy's little girl next door, and he goes and he try to sleep with her and he can't sleep with her, now that perception of that image has proven to be right, and he has even more respect for her. Just like the woman who look adventurous and bold and out there, who proves him wrong, he has even more respect for her. And so that's the key, is you got to know you got to know your worth. And so while you are calling yourself dark skinned because you brown skinned, and you're feeling less than, and you're telling yourself that men don't like you because of your skin color, and you're telling yourself that you gotta sleep with a man to keep a man, because you're going in with that low self-esteem and that negative self-talk, is putting you in a victim mentality, is putting you in this place to where you feel like you gotta do anything to have this man. Whereas if you went in with confidence and with strength, and you did not give a man your body, and you let that man show you who he is, and you let him take the lead by courting you and getting to know you, and him expressing his feelings first and telling you how he feels, and you not feeling required to reciprocate if you don't feel that, but you let him work for you. You let him earn your love. You let him be a man and show you that he's a man and that he's willing to work for what he wants. A man knows that it is of the essence that he works for a woman's heart. But if you come with your heart in your hand, or you wearing your heart on your sleeve, he does not have to work for your heart. So now he does not respect you. Now he doesn't respect you. And now it makes him leave you for another woman. He will tell you he doesn't want to be in a relationship because really what he's saying in Manglish is you're too easy. This was too easy. Like, you're too vulnerable. You're too weak. You're moving too fast. So instead of being a man and telling you that, he don't know how to articulate that. He don't do this every day for a day job. Like, he's not doing this, not his purpose. So he may not know how to articulate what you need to hear. So he tells you, I don't want to be in a relationship. And then he goes and gets another woman, and then that woman make him work. That woman don't give him her body. That woman stand her ground. That woman don't cater to him. So then she's the one that get posted on social media. She's the one that get the real commitment because she came in with confidence, and she might not even be as pretty as you. She might not be as pretty as you to him. He may actually think you're prettier than her, but will treat her better because of how she treats herself. So you have to change the way that you thinking about this, and you got to stop playing a role. If this nose ring and these really big hoop earrings and this bar earring through your ear and this and these tattoos, if this stuff don't have a deep meaning to you, that you connecting this to like a deep meaning, don't try to make one out of thin air now, then stop doing that. Stop doing that and be who you are. Be who you are at your core. If at your core you walk around, you would look like a daddy's girl, or you would look like the girl next door, or you would look like Penny Proud, like a Disney character, a Disney cast member. If that's how you would look naturally, just based on where your heart is at and how you feel, then do that. If that make you look 13, good. If you 18 but you look 13, good. That mean when you look 18, that mean that you 23. And when you look 25, that mean you 30. And that's good. Because the longer you could be off that market, the better. Cause sis, if you out here already and you on the market and you saying these men just want you to sleep with you, and with the way you putting yourself out here in this text message, I have no reason to believe that you haven't slept with these guys. And for you to say you tired, I'm an 18-year-old female, and you tired already, that make me think that you've been out here dating since 13, 14 years old, and you say you normally go for men in their 20s. And then you say they typically just want you for sex. Absolutely, because it's statutory. All this time until now, they couldn't have no relationship with you. That's statutory. They couldn't have no relationship with you. So, and I know you ain't just started dating these men in their 20s since you turned 18, because you wouldn't be tired that fast in less than a year. So this right here implies to me that it's been a little while for you. It's been a little while for you that you've been at this. So listen, sister, change your whole mindset. Change your whole mindset. Change what you're saying to yourself. Change what you're saying to yourself. Now your little picture on here look different than the pictures you sent in. It's a little further away though. But that outfit looked better. That white top, it covering up more cleavage. It looked more business professional. The hairstyle you got in the little picture, it looked more, you looking older than you are, which, you probably need to start trying to look your age, because you 18, but your look is very grown up. And that's also part of your problem is with these men. And so just calm down, sister. Calm down. Stop. You're not going to die not having no man at 18 years old. Ain't nothing going to happen to you. You're not going to stop breathing if you don't got no boyfriend. You got to change your mindset. You got to change your input. You got to start listening to some affirmations. You got to start reading some daily devotionals. You got to change a list. You got to start telling yourself, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good by myself. I'm focused on my goals. I'm focused on my dream. Hey, focus on your goals. Focus on your dream. Every day, repeat that to yourself. Make you one of them things that's on the real. That be, I'm focused. I'm focused on my dream. And they make the little song with the affirmations. I love me. I'm focused. I'm working on my dreams. Like, make you one of them right there. Get on your recorder. Record it. Shoot your video at the beach or on the airplane. Use that footage. Put your little recording on there with your affirmation. Post that as a reel on your Instagram. Post that on your TikTok. Let that go viral. And you listen to your own affirmation that you put to your little beat into your little video. And you listen to that every day, all day long. When you change what you telling yourself, it's going to change your life. But right now, you telling yourself that you unattractive. You telling yourself that dark skin is not beautiful. You telling yourself that you less than, that you unworthy, and that you need a man. That you need a man, that you can't live without a man, that you need a man to validate you. You need a man to make you feel special. You need a man to be by your side. Really, you want to be by your side. You need a man that you could be behind. That's what you're telling yourself. And you got to change what you're telling yourself, and it's going to change your life. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you this. Hey, this is Tony Gas, and y'all forgive me for this being a marathon, but when you touching on race and you touching on things that deep, it got to be a whole lot to it, because people misunderstand and misconstrue stuff. God bless you. And hey, thank you so much. I don't know if this premiering or not, if I said it as a premiere, but thank you so much to my moderators. Thank you so much to all my supporters out there. Make sure you check out TonyGastonAcademy.com if you're ready to become a life coach or take one of the other courses, building your brand. TonyGastonAcademy.com. Shout out to those of you on my Patreon. If you ain't on Patreon, don't sign up yet. Wait till the 1st, because they charge you on the 1st of each month. So if you sign up today, if you sign up, only sign up if you can afford to be charged again on the 1st, which is coming up. So just a little heads up on that. Hey, God bless y'all. Bless Tribe. Bless Business Tribe. Appreciate you. Moderators, appreciate you. God bless you. We'll talk soon.